All right, so Mike, I want to talk to you about this LinkedIn situation.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued because, like, I don't know, I hate all social media and everything. So it's like, and LinkedIn's probably, I mean, Amber will tell you, I'm like, what is this thing? Like, I keep getting asked to be the CEO of other companies. Like, what is going on? You know, like, or be a personal trainer at freaking LA Fitness. I'm like, do y'all not look at my resume? Like, that's really the only experience I've had with LinkedIn is random job ideas. So
Yeah, I mean, I had a training by one of the LinkedIn founders like 13 years ago, and he was after the training. He's like, hey, if you meet someone and you like them, just LinkedIn them. And I thought then, oh, that's how you store your business card. It's like a digital Rolodex, and that's all it was for me for like over a decade. And then 4 years ago, because I was never on social media before either, I didn't like it. And 4 years ago, the pandemic happened. Our biggest trade show got canceled, and I love trade shows. And so I'm like, what am I going to do? How am I going to see my friends in the industry, new products, and what everyone's up to? And wait a sec, there's LinkedIn. And I went on LinkedIn, and sure enough, I could go and I started connecting with other founders in the natural products industry and CPG industry. But I started sharing just some of my thoughts, you know, and I quickly learned that LinkedIn as a platform is not only more business focused, but there's a shortage of people making content on LinkedIn. And so the organic reach potential. And over the last 4 years now, there's 50,000 people in my LinkedIn community. Every single one of the opportunities that I'm experiencing in life right now, all of my portfolio companies met them or grew the relationship on LinkedIn. Sitting here with Aaron, met Aaron on LinkedIn.
I met Aaron on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I was trying to get a free blanket. Yeah.
He's like, congrats on Forbes, bro. Here's my address.
at least you could do.
Send me one.
You know, I think there's lots of different platforms. Most of them are obviously more consumer facing. LinkedIn is like for business. I think any founder that's not on LinkedIn is missing. Why? Because people buy why you're doing what you're doing even more than what you're doing, right? People buy many of like, why are you into health and fitness more so than why do you have these gyms, right? And being able to share that authentically, the inbound amount of opportunities just starts, and it could be a literal floodgate.
And then I want to like, I mean, some people obviously weren't here last night, but we heard a lot of like, and Aaron, you spoke about this. There was a lot of, I mean, controversy is a tough word, but differences in approaches when it comes to social media.
Absolutely.
From the volume game to the like, listen to my analytics game.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, what is y'all's
That was
opinion
a funny
on
one.
this?
That was good. That was a good beat.
But that was perfect.
Yeah.
That was
No,
what
it
you
was.
want,
That's what
you
right?
want, yeah.
That's what you want, is you want to have the opposing opinions. And I think, I mean, one is you always have to test, right? Because I think they're both true for both of them.
Well, there's no right way.
There's no right way.
no-
That's the challenge.
Otherwise,
That's
we
the
don't do it.
challenge
Yeah.
and the opportunity with entrepreneurship and anything in general. There's no one right way.
Yeah. But I find the times when you put the most effort into a post is the ones that always flop. And it's the one that you never think is
Every
going to
time.
work is the one that's going to pop.
You know, like when you spend like hours making your caption, like
Yeah.
you write
Yeah.
this.
It's
and in
In that
that
Perfect.
moment, you know it's going to suck.
Yeah, it's
when you
perfect.
finish it though, you do have this sense of like I just wrote the baddest thing ever.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
you say to yourself when you post it, nobody's gonna give a shit.
No,
So-
I don't give a shit. That's another concept too that like I had to really get comfortable with is, and I'm better now. I wouldn't say I'm even all the way there yet. Is really not giving a shit about what I post online. I used to like, hawk it and be like, oh my God, but I said this like last week. And I started to realize that like, not only do people not even remember what you posted 20 minutes ago, not only do they not give a shit because they're consuming 10,000 pieces of content a day, it just doesn't matter as much as you think it does. So getting over that hump is also a huge relief where you can just be your authentic self. And if you like it, if people like it, great. If they don't, great. And if they want to send some hate, great.
Right.
As long as you're you, then you're good.
Yeah, I saw a meme talking about it said, what did it say? It said, you're the only person that cares what you look like.
Yeah, no, right.
Sure, yeah.
Everyone else is
actually
worried
true.
about their own stuff.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
100%.
And it really, I mean, to your point, it was like an eye opener even for me because we're all self-conscious. We all like
Of course.
overthink it. And then, I mean, we're all in a little way, especially if you're really trying to do big things, we're kind of perfectionists, but imperfection is where you get paralyzed. Like you just get stuck. And so you gotta just do it.
It's all about the reps.
Right.
It's all
No
about
days
the
off.
reps.
No days
Exactly.
off.
No days off.
No
Yeah.
days off.
Yeah, you
sure.
need the
That's
reps.
true.
The reps are very important. That's one
Exactly.
thing that like again, even with social with myself, it's like I've only really, I would say, gone like more all in the last 4 or 5 months, and even then, it's like I'm still like it's every time it's getting a little bit better. Like you can feel it out, and we actually have a member in our community, Amon and Beck.
Yeah.
And they're massive YouTubers, like huge YouTubers. And he came to one of our events and I said, so give me some sauce. Like, you're a massive YouTuber, huge success. Like, what do I do? What do I need to know? And he's like, this is all you need to know. The first 7 years, we didn't cross 100 views. That's what he said. 7 years, not over 100 views.
It's kind of like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan talks about it.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, I did this thing for 5 years and nobody was listening.
No
Nobody.
one. Yeah. And I looked at it, I was like, not over 100. He's like, not over 100. We did it for ourselves. We did it with our mission. We didn't care whether people like looked at it or not. And a couple videos pop off. Next thing you know, they're getting hundreds of thousands of views every video they post. But people forget that it was 7 years of consistency without any viral moment. I feel like even myself, sometimes I get trapped with like, oh, I should have done better. I need more views. And it's like also understanding that number, that little like 2,000, 1,000 people. You know how many people? 2,000 people. Imagine you put 2,000 people here. This thing was crazy. 2,000 people.
Yeah.
My last Instagram post was 5,000 people. In my head, like, oh, I wish it was 10. 5,000 people is insane.
And the crazy thing, I've learned this over like LinkedIn specifically, because you have, I'll get 50, 100,000 views on posts. I'm like, is that really real? Because you get the people that engage, you see the people. When I started going out in the community back to like, especially industry trade shows and events, and the amount of people that come up and be like, hey, my God, I love your content. I read what you're doing, all the thought leadership. Oh, can we take a picture? All this kind of stuff,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you never engage with any of my stuff? No, because 90% of people just watch, but
They're watching.
the number's real.
Lurkers.
Like if you had an audience here, of 1,000 people, maybe like 50 of them would say something or ask a question or whatever, but everyone else would just want to be here and watch, right? And that's what's going on
That's a
too.
good
And
analogy,
and I don't think everyone thinks about that.
I have to tell you this, just speak a little life into you. You got the thing. All right?
All right.
So
Yeah.
you have the it. You know what I mean? So keep doing what you're doing, because
Thank you.
the way you speak, the way you talk, the way you look, everything, you've got it. So just keep going, man. Just keep going.
That's it. Nedrich, you got that?
Well, he's only got
Okay. That's my clip. That's my clip.
Ned, where you at, man? He's like, I don't have my camera.
No, but I
I'm sorry.
appreciate that. I appreciate
We got
that.
plenty
Yeah.
of cameras.
Yeah.
Look at all these cameras, like
Yeah.
paparazzi.
It's funny you say that, because I had Jay, like one of our members, Jay came up to me yesterday and he goes, like you do really incredible like public speaking. I want to practice my public speaking. And I told him, in 2019, one of my goals, I was terrified of public speaking. And one of my goals was to become a good public speaker. He's like, what are the courses? And I actually just told him what Mike just said. I said yes to everything.
Yeah.
And I was scared shitless. I'll never forget Alibaba, me and him go
Oh,
on
yeah,
stage.
dude, that's crazy.
5,000
So many people
people.
there.
I've never even been on a screen. You can't see the mic, the light. You can't see the crowd. It's terrifying. You can't see the crowd. I'm like, who am I talking to?
You can't see the crowd.
You
Yeah,
can't
it's
see
so
the crowd
big,
when the
dude.
light's on you and
Yeah.
there's 4,000 people.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And Damon Johns is right after
Damon
us.
John is coming
Right
up next.
after
We're
us.
opening.
Right.
And you sit there and you're like, I'm going to do it anyways, and you shiver a little bit. You got the shakes, you kind of whatever. Then you get into the flow, and good or bad, you look at it after and you're like, boom, check, another rep. So like I was telling Jay, I'm like, this is almost 5 years of doing non-stop. This morning, I did a podcast. I did the virtual keynote for a university.
Okay.
Like you do the reps.
Right.
And you start to get really comfortable. And it's true, the reps with everything.
It's
kind of
everything.
annoying.
I mean, that's what I
actually.
love about in fitness and everything else in life goes so well together, because no one's going to come into the gym and expect one day they're going to come in and work out and be like, okay, nothing, no results, nothing, right? But like 6 months, pretty strong results. 3, 4, 5 years later, you know what happens? People say you're a natural. You got it's your genetics.
Right.
You're just doing this. No, you've just been doing reps over and over and over again. And like you could take and I'm one of the you could take an introvert and you could become extroverted just by going, this is what I'm going to do. Like when I was 300 pounds overweight, I was the shyest kid. And then even when I got into the business and I had lost the weight, I started doing exercise like in front of the mirror going, hey, my name's Mike Fata, and put my hand out. As silly as that is, but like hundreds and hundreds of times, until now if I'm in a room or an audience, I want to meet everybody. I'm highly curious, but I feel really confident and comfortable about myself because of the amount of times that I've done it.
And you made yourself into that.
Yeah.
That's what I get like frustrated with people that are like, this is just who I am.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up like this. I'm introverted. You know, all this. I'm not a morning person. Like everything we tell ourselves is what we're becoming.
You are the story that you repeatedly tell yourself.
Exactly.
So it's
100%.
like change the conversation you're having in your own head and become a different version of yourself.
I think that's the beauty in the community too. Like
Yeah.
what we're building is the people we're hanging out with every day are just trying to get better, and whether it's finance, whether it's going to the gym every day, or just being comfortable on a microphone like this, right? So
Right.
that's
You
the
also
beauty of
want
it.
the people around you to be able to tell you both the good and the bad. Like you said a really nice thing, that's great. But also, like, if I'm doing something wrong or if I did something wrong, you would also tell me.
Of course.
Right?
Exactly.
And that's the type of people
Right.
you want around you. You know, like, I mean, back on the public speaking, about a year and a half ago, I did that talk in San Diego. And the truth is, it was ass. You know, I had a terrible week, and like my shit was all messed up. And I made a post. I said, "I'm not public speaking anymore." Like it was shit. Like I was just all over the place. And actually, Mike reached out to me, and he's like, you know, why don't you like get like a coach and like
Mike
actually
said, yeah, it was shit.
think about it.
Yeah, he was open to it, which
Yeah.
is the first part of getting better is not being the victim, saying like I'm going to be bad, right? Like,
Yeah. No, I said, you know what? I've never taken the time and actually like systemized the way I speak. I just kind of like off the cuff, you know, whatever. And I finally sat down and I like built a framework, and I sent voice notes to people of my speech. I took it kind of seriously for a second. I changed my story. I said, you know what? I'm going to be a phenomenal public speaker, but it takes work. And it took 6 months off of speaking, came back for Ecom North, which was arguably my best speech ever, which was my comeback after 6 months. But it took like, first of all, the humility and the way to like accept feedback. Because it's not great, you know, having people say, "Oh, that was ass."
Yeah.
You know, you know. But to be able to be like, you know what, it was, and let me change it. Instead of the new story, it could have been, you know what, public speaking is not for me, and then
Right.
that door shuts down.
And I think also too, I was talking about this earlier in the other podcast, was like fail often and fail fast. Because if you're not
100%.
trying and you're not failing, then you can't get better.
Yeah, I even like, and I'm you know, there's the fail culture is real, and that's one way to capture it. I like to think about it's winning or learning. You know, every day we want to win. Some days
There's
we
no
learn.
losses, there's
there's
only
no
lessons.
you learn. You know, like I tried that. I'm gonna try it a little different next time.
Right.
But you know,
I like that. Well,
Just
it
avoid-
frames it in a more positive
Yeah.
way too. You know?
Just avoid catastrophe. That's the secret.
yeah.
Like-
Well, and the biggest catastrophe
Yeah.
is stopping.
exactly.
Keep forward momentum all the time. You know, the worst thing we could do is just stop. And you hear it all the time. Like we're on the podcast, you know, saying to, you know, the average amount of podcasts that happen, there's millions and millions and millions of podcasts. The average is 9 episodes. People don't get past shooting 9 episodes. They just stop.
I didn't
you know,
know that.
so you never know if you're going to be good, especially when you go look at the greats. Well, they've done 1,000, but I stopped at 9. Never had a chance.
It's
you
so
know?
true too. Like when people like your stuff, and you'll go to their page and they'll have a podcast page, and there's like 4 posts on it.
graveyard.
You're like, what happened?
Yeah.
It's to be, I think, in the top 1% of podcasts, you just need to hit 100 episodes statistically. That's all you have to do. is
Where
hit
we at?
100
Amber? Where we
episodes.
at?
Yeah, 100, and then you're automatically in the
That's
top 1%, just because
crazy.
everyone else gives up. Because think about it, 100 episodes is a lot.
It's a lot,
Right?
yeah.
Like,
what if
I want a week, you 2 years. You got to be 2 years every week.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
We have the kid who used to live on my couch when we moved to Miami, one of the 7 people. He's now the number 2 business podcast in the country.
Really?
He posts 7 podcasts a day. Digital Social Hour.
Yeah.
He just rips
Huge.
them.
7 a day.
He's a monster.
goes
I'm actually going on it
crazy.
in
And
February.
are they long format?
There
or
are
it's-
15 minutes.
Oh, 15 minutes.
But he
podcast.
has everybody on there.
What's the name of it?
Digital Social Hour.
Digital
by Sean
Social Hour.
Kelly. Shout out
Sean
Sean
Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Used to sleep on my couch, 7'2" kid, just taking up the whole
What?
thing. My mom was
Wait, what?
my mom was pissed. The kid's
And why doesn't he play basketball? What happened?
he's okay. He's a little fragile. But yeah, he's
My skills coach said back in the
taking up
day.
the whole man.
He was like,
He
if
was
you're
huge,
if you're
bro.
over 6'8" and you don't play basketball,
Yeah, he messes. He plays in that.
Yeah, because
Yeah, your whole life, people are just like, you play ball?
No, seriously.
Yeah, but
play
for real,
ball?
everyone,
No.
we all used to make fun of him. We're like, yo, why are you doing this? Like, this is such a waste of your time. What are you doing? He was an e-commerce kid trying to get into podcasting.
Yeah.
And 5 years later, the #2 business podcast in the country. Like,
Yeah,
it's
actually is.
crazy.
Does he have like the voice for it?
No,
or-
No, he's got nothing for it.
Not at all.
But just volume. He's got anyone you can think
So it's
of on his
more of
podcast.
just
It's just
him
volume.
committing to it.
He's
and
all
saying
in.
15
that
minutes. He
I'm
comes up
doing
with 3 good questions and the show's over.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's great.
it. Yeah.
But he crushes sponsorships out. Like, he has hosts 1,000-person events now. It's cool. It's inspiring. But he could have gave up a lot of times.
Yeah.